Formative assessment without scores. This video is focused on how to set up an assignment so that it doesn't display a score to students when you release feedback to students. When left at the default settings, an assignment will automatically show a score to students. So, if you are scoring an assignment and want students to see their score, you don't need to worry about this. Although it's typical for formative assignment not to be scored, as noted elsewhere, to be able to add an assignment submission point into a VLE site, you are forced to provide a value in the points possible field. If you don't do this, you can't create the submission point. Similarly, to complete marking an individual submission, you also have to provide a score for that submission, even if you'd rather the assessment wasn't scored. In such circumstances, you may want to consider setting the assessment to be worth 0 points. You can then set the assessment to not display the score. The easiest way to do this is to change the Display Grades As setting. While creating a new submission point or editing an existing one, expand the Display of Grades section of the configuration form. Use the primary drop-down for Display Grade As to select Complete Incomplete. Configure the rest of the assessment setup as needed and click Submit. If you are scoring student submissions, don't want the scores shown to the student but do want them visible in the Grade Center, then set the secondary score drop-down to Score. This will allow staff to see student scores in the Grade Center, while leaving the primary drop-down set to Complete Incomplete will mean students do not see their score. If you set the points possible to 0, note that during evaluation, markers must give anyone they have entered feedback for a score of 0. If a valid score isn't given and submitted, feedback will not become available to the student, or, in some circumstances, feedback might not be saved. Students' work must be scored. When feedback and marks are displayed to the students, they will see the word complete instead of the 0 score if the primary grade display is set to Complete Incomplete.